All right, we're going to go ahead and call the January 31st, 2023 Greenup City Council meeting to order with roll call.
Mark Harris, Jeff Hearn,
Here.
John Norman,
Here.
Bruce Mance,
Here.
Doretha Hill,
Here.
Jamie Gillum.
Here. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I got a question here about I just like to know when Jeff Hall did he join their?
No, did I hear Jeff Hall? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's
I
funny.
just thought I probably ought to.
Oh, the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll fix that. I'll correct that for you.
Thank you.
So do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Jeff Hearn,
Yes.
Jamie Gillum,
Yes.
Bruce Mance,
Yes.
Doretha Hill,
Yes.
John Norman.
Yes.
Obviously, we are here for the declaration of state of emergency and to discuss the Argolite tank, which involves the state of emergency. And what I'm doing is just trying to keep you guys up to date and abreast of what's going on. The Argolite tank, which sits at the mouth of 207 and Route 1 on the hill out there. We've kind of got the same issues that we had going on with the Greenup tank. However, it's a lot worse, or it appears to be a lot worse at this point in time. It's leaking roughly right now, I'm going to say probably 40 to 50 gallons a minute. Has been for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. It's probably eroded completely out from underneath of it. The declaration of emergency will coincide with the last declaration of emergency, and hopefully that we can seek funding if the state does qualify for enough money that we can send it up to the president's desk. But at this point in time, I don't see that happening. So back to the Argolite tank is I'm going to hire several different contractors. Right now we're looking at 3, possibly 4. We're looking at an estimated cost right now of about $100,000. We're going to have to go in and drain the tank. We're actually going to cut probably a 4x4 hole in the middle of the floor and evaluate and see what we've got to do. Worst case scenario is a completely new entire floor, and that's what we went ahead and planned for.
And that's 100.
Yes. Everything should have gotten ordered yesterday as far as steel and all that. We've went back and looked at our last time our tank was inspected and looked at the flooring, and it was in bad shape then. Now in 1992, there was a new tank placed out there. So when the new tank was placed in 1992, they'd never done anything to the foundation. So the only thing they done was they set the tank on the foundation that was there. And throughout the years, we've had other people come in and they've cut holes in the floor and they've put sand back underneath the floor, tried to more or less wedge it back in there with 2x4s and things of that nature just to secure the bottom of the floor. I'm going to go out on a limb and say when we cut the hole in the tank, it's probably going to need a new floor. We went ahead and ordered enough steel for that. That's what we're planning for. We're looking at probably being down, rough estimate, if weather permitting, probably 2 weeks, maybe possibly even 3 weeks. There's a lot of cure time for the epoxy. That'll have to be done. Obviously, Bruce, there's going to be a lot of welding that's going to be taking place. So I wanted to bring you guys up to speed. Now, the only way that we will be in mass panic mode is if Ashland or Cannonsburg has a problem on their water system, and then we can't buy water from Cannonsburg. Obviously, I've already sent my declaration to Judge Executive, and I've sent it to our emergency management. Now, they do obviously keep on a supply of water for emergencies like this, but not for 2 or 3 weeks, I wouldn't think. But as long as we do not get cut off from Cannonsburg, we might have a few customers that's without water on higher elevations. But we won't know that until we actually turn the water off, get the tank drained, and we might have, I'm going to say less than 20 that might be calling saying, hey, because Cherokee tank and Argonaut tank sit pretty close with each other. So hoping nobody's without water, but we just won't know until that tank gets empty.
Just a point. I know some people are new. Does everybody really understand how the water system works?
Not
As
really.
far as when they pump water out of the city, they don't pump it to the houses. They pump it to tanks, and water seeps its own head pressure. So they're actually when he's talking about pressure coming to the homes and why some homes won't get pressure, it's because if you can't fill this tank, and we try to put them as high as we can on the hills, it's just like anything else. If you've got water up high, like if you got water coming off the top of your roof, it's shooting out at the bottom of your gutter. It's the same thing as head pressure. When they feed off of that tank coming off the top of that hill, it'll feed anything below that tank, and we'll have pressure. I mean, what is it? For every 10 foot, it's like 5 pound, huh? 2 to 1. Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's kind of how a system actually works. So, even though we're pumping water, we still have big problems when tanks don't work.
Oh, absolutely. And every bit of the water comes through the Greenup tank, and then it's just distributed out to the other tanks. So once all the material gets in, and obviously we notify the Division of Water, and Thomas Nelson is our inspector from the DOW, then he will be out there, of course, keep a close eye, making sure that everything's done to standards. So I just wanted to keep you guys abreast, let you know what's going on, because obviously the declaration of emergency is going to get out, and you're going to start hearing people talk about it. And if you have any questions, now's the time. Or if you don't think of them until after a while, text me or call me, however you want. But I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. And yes, we do have enough money to pay for it on hand, so we don't have to go borrow no money or anything like that. We're perfectly fine there.
That was one of my first questions, as always, how we're going to pay for it.
Yep, we do have enough money on hand. So
Okay. The second thing I want to ask is, since I'm new and I'm not familiar with the tanks like you just explained to us, and I'm learning as we go.
sure.
Now, as far as buying water, would buying water be just for the Argolite area
Mm-hmm.
and not for the rest of the city of Greenup?
What we
stuff
do
like
is
that?
we shut the valve off at Route 1 and usually Horn Hollow. Now we can come all the way back to Route 1 and super quick. We shut the valve off, and then we just feed that area out there from Cannonsburg. Now, when we've had problems in Greenup, I can actually feed water from Cannonsburg all the way back to Greenup, and Greenup citizens have Cannonsburg water. Now, you might have, not near the pressure, but you'll still have water.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I wasn't sure how that was because I didn't think it would affect the city of Greenup, but I didn't know for sure.
Right, and there's going to be a lot of coordination going on. Obviously, I'll be talking with Cannonsburg. I'll be talking with Matt Perkins and the engineers in Ashland, letting them know what we've got going on. Now, this is all going to be taking place, hopefully, depending on weather and when material and stuff comes in, we're hoping within at least a month. Right now, knock on wood, and seriously, knock on wood, the bottom could come out of that thing right now, and 100,000 gallons of water just wash out.
Is that the size of the tank?
Yes, it's a 100,000 gallon tank. So hopefully it will last. So, and it's like anything else. Once we get started, we might run into more problems. There may be less problems. We just won't know until we get in there and see exactly what's going on.
I have one question. Whenever
Sure.
they do inspect our tanks,
Mhm.
do they do an ultrasound for thickness?
Yes, they do ultrasonic ultrasound.
Ultrasonic
Yes,
ultrasound for thickness?
yes, but that is a company that comes in and
Right,
does those.
right.
Yes.
Okay, I just was wondering because I was wondering what, it doesn't just rust out.
No, some
So-
of them do, like the Greenup tank. you're right. It doesn't just rust out on its own. The chemicals play a huge part.
Yeah,
in
they
that.
do. They play a huge
So-
part in it. I just was wondering how often do we get the tanks inspected?
That's a Roger Harris question, but I'm
Every 5
thinking,
years,
No,
or-
I'm thinking it's like every 6 or 7 years. I
Okay.
think.
That's-
But that's a Roger question.
Okay.
I don't know right off the
All right.
top of my head.
One other thing I just want to ask real quick, even though we know there's problems with the Argolite tank, are they right now, they still have water
Oh, yeah.
for now?
Oh yeah,
And,
Yeah.
so probably the citizens may not even be aware that there's a problem.
won't even. I'm hoping that they do not see any interruptions whatsoever. But like I said, the people that live on higher elevations, once we drain that tank, we might see a few, and then we'll just have to react to those people and do what we can for them. But without the tank,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be buying water from Cannonsburg all the time. So I mean, it's a
Yeah.
necessity. We've got to have it. It's got to be done. So
And it would cost more to buy it than it would.
yes,
Yeah.
we make a lot less money buying it from Cannonsburg than we do when we're producing our own. So, and we are buying water from Cannonsburg, and we will be buying water from Cannonsburg until it's fixed. We have no other choice. That part of the system out there is very finicky because of a bottleneck, which we talked about at the last meeting, the $177,000. That will fix that bottleneck that's out there with that one dedicated line. So if you get a couple of meters out there that just bust, we start having trouble getting water into the Argolite tank. So it's very finicky out there. And a 40 to 50 minute gallon leak right now, yeah, we're buying water from Cannonsburg.
That's pretty good size leak. Right?
Yes, it's a 4-inch pipe coming out now, and it's obviously the
Do we know
the
at
more
all where
head
the leak
pressure
is?
that's
Do we have any idea where the leak really is? Can you see the leak or can you not? Or
yes, you can't you see where it's coming out,
right?
but we don't know exactly until we get in and drain it and see how bad
Okay.
a shape the floor is in.
Okay.
We know where it's coming out.
Okay.
It's running about a 4-inch pipe,
Mhm.
anywhere from half to 3/4 full,
Now,
depending on
there's
how
no
much.
Band-Aid
No,
until we. do
no, there's
something
no way
else.
of band-aiding it. No. Depending on how much water's in the tank, head pressure down on the floor.
Yeah.
Obviously, if there's more water in it, then it's pushing down on the floor more, and it's causing the water to run out faster. So,
Right.
So roughly, it's $100,000, like a turnkey job to get.
yes.
And
Yes.
we'd recover.
And now it may be less than that, and it may be a little bit more than that, just depending on what
That-
we get into and
That's
once
just
we
your
tear into it.
best guess.
That's
estimate.
our best guess.
But we recover some by no longer leaking.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not all going
No,
out.
exactly.
That means a lot.
That's
That's
less
exactly
that we
right.
have to buy, and that's less.
Exactly. So I just wanted to keep you guys up to date on what's going on. And again, once we get started out there, I'll send out a text and say, hey, they're starting. We're getting ready to start the process of draining the tank. And if you guys want to go out, I know some of you have 4-wheel drives. You'll need a 4-wheel drive to get up to the tank. If not, give me a call. I'll take you out
Are
there.
they local contractors? Local.
Yes, all of them except for possibly one, and I'm not sure about the guy that's going to do the epoxy. I'm not sure where they're out of.
Yeah, specialty contractors usually come from bigger cities.
Yes, now Anthony Brown's going to do all the welding. Him and his partner, and then Brandon Wolf, whom we've used for years and years and years, will be out there as well. And then the epoxy guy, I can't remember their name, but actually Brandon hooked me up with him. It's the same guy that works on the federal prisons tank out there, does all the work for them. So it's not like it's his first go around. So this guy knows what he's doing. So, and then there's cure time for the epoxy and all that. And then our guys will have to get in there and disinfect the tank before we start filling. So, but that's all I have. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to call me, text me, however you want to do it. Come in, see me.
I think anytime you got Brandon's name attached to anything,
Well, one thing about Brandon, and here's the great thing about Brandon is you can say, here it is, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And if
He'll
it's
take
done
care of it.
wrong, then he'll tear it out and redo it.
He does a good job.
So it's just how he is. So
And he's also one that won't take a job if he can't.
no, if he can't
So,
do it, then
yeah.
he will just tell you I can't do it. So, but that's all I have. If there's no more questions, then we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Jeff and a second by D. Roll call.
Who made the second?
I heard D. You
That's
got
fine.
John, so it don't
Okay.
matter. We're just adjourning.
I just want to make sure though. Okay. Jeff Hearn,
Yes.
Doretha Hill,
Yes.
Bruce Mance,
Yes.
Jamie Gillum,
Yes.
John Norman.
Yes.